Welcome to the session. This is Sam for the Project Management PMP certification oriented training, and we are talking about one of the major reasons why projects fail: cost management. A lot of companies are not able to manage their costs well. If you look at the numbers, the statistics is that 68% projects fail to meet their original budget goals. And this is not my report, friends. If you look at Standish Consulting, if you look at the other company which does research, they have come out with reports. In 2012, there was a report which said original budget, only 32% of projects are able to achieve their goals as far as getting the project done in the initially defined amount is concerned. So how do we handle this problem? How do we solve this issue? That is a major area of concern in project management. So here in cost management, this is the problem we're trying to solve. Now I give a lot of pictures, friends, in my classes and visuals, because I think that brain really remembers the pictures more than the words, right? They say a picture is like 1,000 words. So Mona Lisa, for example. So here is my picture and story for you guys to go through. Initially in the project, what we do is we have a scope statement which tells us what are we going to achieve. Very well defined scope statement which lists down the inclusion and exclusion criteria. Once we have that, based on the scope statement, we create a breakdown of the work from top to bottom, and we call that as a work breakdown structure, right? And then we have a third document here which actually explains the component of this WS in greater detail. For example, if this is 1.1.2, what does that 1.1.2 mean? What is the description? So it explains. Likewise, other items. So this is what we call as a dictionary, a WBS dictionary. So with the WBS dictionary, we get the details about what is in here. And then all this is, friends, signed and approved by the stakeholders. Now after it gets signed, it becomes the baseline of the project. The project has been baselined. This is the bottom. This is what we agree on. This is the common page on which we're going to assess our performance. And then we move forward, friends. So the lowest level of this work breakdown structure, friends, we call that as a work package. Now from the work package, we have different activities. Let's say you're building an iPhone 6. Right? An iPhone 6 has a hardware, software, different items in the WBS. Let's say you're building the CD. So CD again has 5 different or 6 different activities. There's a hardware to it, there's a software to it, there's a voice system there, there's a language system there. In my case, she doesn't understand anything. It's all, whatever I tell her, she does exactly the opposite. But that's okay for me. And maybe some other technologies there, and then some applications is there. So all these 6 activities have to be performed. In time management, we talk about how much time it will take to work on each activity. Here we're talking about dollars, right? Because cost is all about dollars. How many dollars? Go and do this project in $10 million, right? So we're saying how much will it cost to work on the hardware. So we come up with an estimate. We say maybe $500,000, 500K, 200K for this, 150K for this, 250K for this, right? $500,000 for this, and maybe 100K for this. So what you're doing is, friends, you're coming up with an estimate of cost for each activity that you have. Now, before you do that, we need to know what's a plan, right? So the plan, as I say, is I don't know how I'm drawing it well or not, but That's an umbrella I'm trying to reference. So what that means is that how would we go about managing cost in a project? Right? What is our philosophy, our structure? So that is called as a cost management plan. What units of measure we will have, how much tolerance we will have, what is the threshold we will have, you know. So all that is the framework we decide, and then we go about estimating each activity cost. How much each activity is going to cost. Once we are done with that, then the third step comes into picture, and that is we kind of take all the activity costs together and start rolling up till we get the work package level, and till we get a control account level, until finally we get the WBS, deliverable. So this process of rolling up and bottoms up approach helps in coming up with the total cost of the project, and then we go and get it signed. So what is that? It's called as an aggregation, and what do we get out of it is a budget. Once we have the budget, then we start thinking about getting it signed and approved by the stakeholder. So we say signed and approved. Again, that becomes the baseline. So once you have the baseline, what next? You go about working on the project, start executing the project, implementing the project. The team starts working on it. The deliverables are being created. The work performance data is being generated. So that is, friends, happening here. What we're doing is we are executing the project. Execution of the project leads to creation of deliverables and work performance data. Now what is that? Data about the performance of the work. So what's the status right now? You're supposed to spend $500,000 on the hardware and complete the hardware. Right now you've spent 200K and then 30% of the work, good or bad. So that is what you're trying to control, right? So the data that is available, you will apply different techniques, and we'll talk about that as a part of earned value management. You know, and I have a different lecture which I take a nice example to explain this, which PMP actually takes 5-6 pages without any example, just throws out the information. But here we really explain to you with a very simple and a visual story that helps you understand what is earned value management. So friends, that's what we're trying to do here. We're saying this is what we have as the budget. Right now we are here. How much money have you spent and how much work have you finished? So basically you are mapping up the money and the work, and you're looking at an S-curve as to, based on the approval and the funding requirement given to you by the sponsor, which was signed in baseline, how are you doing, right? Some of us call it percentage complete. So friends, this is a very high level view of cost management. The first process is called as the cost management plan. The umbrella, don't forget that. The second part of it is the activity costs. How much is the cost of each activity, right? And then the third part is aggregating all the activities together and getting a budget. And then getting a baseline and a funding requirement. How much are we having money, total dollars, and how would we spend it? Which are the milestones? And then you start executing the project. The fourth process is control cost. You're trying to control the cost by applying earned value management to see how much is the work done, how much is the money spent. From a value perspective, are we really getting the value that we decided to get? How much value have we got? And we use the funding requirements originally given to us. So this is a high-level view of cost management, and if you take a 3-hour class, you will understand this in greater detail. Thank you very much for being with us.